Excited to invite our next presenter to the stage, Kate Fosson, the founder of Brand Pollinators. Let's give it up for Kate, guys. We got a clicker right here. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that's me. Okay, so I'm glad to see you all here today, because what I want to talk to you about involves you and the future of the planet and the snacks we're about to eat after this. Trust me, they're all related. I know because I work with a lot of companies that make snacks and beverages and skincare products. They're all part of the consumer packaged goods industry, CPG for short. I was drawn to work with this industry because of the massive impact it has on people and on the planet. On people because we use these products in our daily lives to nourish us, to support our social rituals, and sometimes just to bring us joy. So as a result, we end up spending around $20 a day just on CPG products. So over the course of a year, that adds up to something like $700 million just on almond butter, and $14 billion on sunscreen, and $47 billion just on chocolate. So of course, all of that has an impact on the planet. The CPG industry currently uses somewhere around 70% of our freshwater resources to grow crops like almonds for our almond butter. And it uses a lot of land. It causes deforestation, habitat loss around the world, growing crops like palm, where the oil is used in soaps and candies and all kinds of other products. And it creates waste all along the way. Nearly a quarter of the greenhouse gas emissions and more than half of the plastic in the ocean is caused by this CPG industry. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to tell you stop eating chocolate or stop buying sunscreen. I just want to highlight the fact that this industry has far-reaching impacts. And if we could replace current practices with more sustainable ones, we could see a significant impact in the health of our planet. And that's why I started my company, Brand Pollinators. I really wanted to accelerate this change. And so I offered my consulting services to companies that were using regenerative organic ingredients and upcycled materials and compostable packaging. But when I started talking to the founders in this space, I kept hearing the same problems over and over again. They were having trouble communicating and educating their consumers about why their product was better for the environment, especially considering all the greenwashing that's happening. And it was hard for them to get their products to stand out on shelves without using the flashy, bulky plastic packaging. And of course, maintaining these responsible business practices all down the line while still selling the product at a competitive price. Turns out these are all really hard problems to solve. And no one person is going to solve all of these, and no one company is going to change the entire industry. But collectively, we may have enough knowledge and experience to turn the tide. I realized that if these impact-driven brands work together to solve these problems, they could create exponentially better outcomes for themselves and for the planet. Okay, I know working together isn't exactly a novel concept, but I think it gets talked about a lot more often than it gets done. So I decided that's what I can do to make a difference. I spent the next few years building systems to facilitate collaborations between companies. I had a lot of ideas. Some worked, some did not. But I think over time, I figured out the key to actually making a successful collaboration. So I want to share with you today what I've learned, because I think you can recognize something in here that maybe you could take back to your own industry, or maybe you'll see something that you can bring to this CPG world. So I've identified 3 key pillars: holistic thinking, alignment, and mutual benefit. And I'll talk about each of these and then give some real-world examples of how they can be put into place. So holistic thinking is really the basis of a collaborative mindset. If we are laser focused on doing our own thing in our own way and we keep our heads down, we'll probably eventually run into a wall. But if we look up and notice the big goals, we might recognize what others are doing that could connect with our efforts. So an example of this, we recently worked with some companies in our Brand Pollinators community that use regenerative organic ingredients. Now, all of these companies would love to see these practices become more commonplace, but there's only so much they can do individually. So I thought this was a great collaboration opportunity. I reached out to the brands and put together a film. We started working on this film about regenerative agriculture. And so we have now this holistic picture of the brands that are participating. We have the messaging and the themes we want to talk about. We've identified the key players, the filmmakers, the farmers, advocates, and now we're ready to move on to this next phase, which is actually the next pillar, alignment. So these detailed alignment is really important in more elaborate projects like this because it involves coordinating the logistics and the timelines and the roles for everybody involved. And how you address these details can really make or break a collaboration. So for this project, we had this project come together where here at SDSU, a professor from the business school was offering a sustainability course where she was having her students provide consulting work to sample clients, real world experience. And of course, the professor needed companies to participate. And I thought this looked like a great collaboration opportunity. So I reached out to some brands in our community and connected them with Professor Cornelius. And she managed these pieces, made sure the timeline flowed well. And in the end, it worked out really well. We had 5 student groups connect with 5 companies. And they were able to get that hands-on experience. And the clients were able to get free consulting. So I love it when projects like this come together because it's so great to see that alignment happen smoothly. But I also have to remember that most people aren't going to collaborate just for collaboration's sake, or even because they believe in the bigger cause. There has to be one more thing, which is mutual benefit. Everyone needs to know how the project is going to help them meet their goals. If everyone knows, they're able to be more supportive of the collaboration. And so when we have mutual benefit, then people can see how it's going to help increase their sales, reduce their costs, maybe generate a metric for their ESG initiatives. So recently we had another example from our community where 2 brands got together, Bagito, which makes bags from recycled plastic, and Brixy, which makes a plastic-free hair care product. Now, Bagito has an established customer base with consumers that are very eco-conscious, but of course those consumers only need so many bags. And Brixy has a newer product, a new audience, and they're trying to get the word out about their product, and they're also trying to educate those younger consumers about the environmental benefits. So the 2 got together to do a giveaway. Now this was really beneficial for Bagito because they could tap into that younger audience of Brixy's, and they were able to offer them a new product, and Brixy was able to tap into Bagito's audience and help their consumers understand more about how to live a sustainable lifestyle. Win-win. So I have one more example, which is actually this summit. So when I found out I was going to be speaking, I thought, okay, how can I make the most of this opportunity? Can provide value to my community, can help the event organizer deliver a better experience for you, maybe help some of these brands get the word out about their product. Snacks. See, I told you they were all related. So today we have pulp chips, which are made from upcycled chips made from the pulp that's typically discarded from juice processing. We have the mug cakes from Renewal Mill. Those are made with okara flour that's actually a byproduct of the soy milk processing process. And then we have Dr. Bronners chocolate, which is made with regenerative organic ingredients. So everybody wins. Well, I think probably the people that get the VIP bag, because that's where most of the chocolate is. So hopefully you can see that with all three pillars in place, holistic thinking, alignment, and mutual benefit, that a collaboration can really stand head and shoulders above any individual effort. And that's exactly what we need right now. The stakes are too high for us to continue working alone with our heads down. We really need to come together and look up and see these collaborations everywhere because they exist across industries, just waiting for us to make those connections. And that's how you and snacks can change the world.